And welcome back to another Wonky Quartet tier list. This one did okay last time, and apparently you just enjoy podcasts featuring ourselves. This time, unfortunately, the subject is Yugioh.
When was last time? What are you talking about?
I think we
It
did
was like a year ago.
Yeah.
He had like a bunch of like
player type
gamer who shows without washing their doo-doo butt, and we put them into tiers.
So very similarly, I just have a few here. So if this video gets 3 likes, we will do this for every archetype in the entire game. So the way this is listed here, we've got a bunch of tiers based on the type of person that plays a certain deck. For example, a Dark Magician player, typically. We're just stereotyping. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Racism, by the way. We've got Complete Gamer Lord at the top. These guys are insane at their deck. We've got Solid Duelist, decent, very, very dedicated to their deck. And then we've got the One Tricks. They cannot play anything else. Then we've got a Complete Demon or a Donkey. No in between. It's just a hit or miss. These guys are terrible at the game or unbelievable at the game. And then we've got, they know like 1 or 2 combos, but the moment they get hand trapped, it's over for them. We got the Gramps Duelists, like myself. We've got plays like complete ass, but it doesn't matter. They always draw the nuts and win anyway. I just like the artwork and the Decade Viewer who copied from Master Duel Meta.
Bro, I went on Master Duel Meta the other day, and I looked at the tier list, and I don't know who could take that seriously. I saw, like, Malice at a power level of 49 in S tier. And I was like, what are we even talking about? Are we taking data from any other games except, like, the Malice players? Like,
Gage, did you watch the World Championship?
Gage, are you kidding me? Malice is definitely the best deck in Master Duel.
But like, it's like,
far.
oh, well, I get that, but like, how is the disparity, right? The list I was seeing was Malice was power level 49, and Mermail Atlantean, a deck maybe a month, 2 months ago that was the best deck, is a power level of, I'm not kidding, 1.
Dude,
Dude, Malice is actually, like, it's crazy.
So, you guys remember in, like, high school, in order to, like, teach you how to, like, use units? Did you ever have, like, the math teacher tell you, like, 49 what? Bananas? And it's like, oh, they're trying to tell you to, like, use centimeters or, well, I guess in your case. Like,
yeah.
That's kind of how I feel with the tier list. Like, how does that even work? Like,
You ever have a teacher,
I think
like...
it's a number. I think it's a number that is calculated based on
Meta Weeklies.
Weighted results from community tournaments.
Meta Weeklies.
And other community tournaments as well.
Oh, is it other ones?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I think branded players are one tricks that cannot play anyone else. I feel like there's a
let's
couple
do
of
the
these
fucking
on
video,
here that you put that have like their own guaranteed little spot, and I think we all are familiar with, if you are a branded player in 2025, you're stuck. I'm sorry.
Okay, but to
Big
be
day for my local. My branded player, who was probably one of the better, if not like the best person at the shop, did move on this format.
wow, that was what
No,
moved them
to
on.
what?
I'll give you one guess. What did they move to?
Draco Tail.
Draco Tail.
Yeah, Draco Tail. Yeah.
What's even branded doing now? Like in
Gimmick
TCG?
puppet lock, as usual.
Wait,
Same shit
That's
it's been
banned,
doing.
isn't
for
it?
that's bad,
3 years.
isn't it?
I thought they
No,
did.
they moved on to the next guy.
Albion garbage, like something like that. The fusion
This is just
All I
4
know-
idiots trying to like figure out what the meta is for TCG.
No, all I know is the branded players always just say that they're doing something cool, and then the cool thing is just the 7th best gimmick puppet card.
My gimmick
Okay,
puppet
cool.
is DDD Vice King Requiem. Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
epic,
Dude,
man.
that's so cool.
But there's also
Wait,
an
that's
argument to
awesome.
put them in this tier, right? Which is like every branded player is like either insane at their deck or like just complete, doo-doo.
I don't think that's true.
No,
I don't think
I
don't
think they're
think
one
so.
tricks. I think they're.
I think this is the clearest one trick of all time. Yeah.
Okay.
I think those two tiers are completely. I don't think it's a zero-sum game here. I think you could be both of those.
I think if you're still playing branded, you probably got burned by paying $100 for Alubers, and you just can't let go. Like you're just like that 1 week period before it got announced for reprint, and it was like the best.
Branded
deck, and
players
you're
have
just
deep
like,
pockets. They'll buy anything. I don't think they're
They
hurting
do.
for those Alubers.
That deck
anymore.
is 90% QCRs.
Yeah.
The thing I don't understand about branded players specifically, it's like they seem to be like career fusion players. Like the branded players kind of like they tried Chimera, now they're all moving on to Draco Tail. It's like
Are you
No, what it
calling
is what it is
branded
is they
players
like
racist?
No, branded players are specifically Shadow Fusion addicts. They'll play the deck that has the Shadow Fusion in it. And if that's branded fusion, that's fine. If that's Ketu, Rahu, that's fine as well,
Okay, but that does feel really good to resolve. Have you?
It does.
considered
It
that?
fucking feels great. I don't blame them.
Doug, you trying to tell us something? Like this is a safe space. You can tell
No,
us.
it all comes back to Brilliant Fusion,
you-
right? Picking up
Are you
your deck
brand
to resolve
curious?
a card that sends 2 cards to the grave feels good. I said it.
All right, Gage, you want to pick an archetype here?
Yeah, let's talk about Labyrinth players.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be cool about
This
this.
is so Gage coded. Why did you pick Labyrinth? Okay.
I think I'm going with the plays like complete ass, but always draws
Yeah.
nuts and wins. Because have you guys ever
Yeah,
played
okay,
against,
I'll
like-
give you
okay,
that. I'll give you
Have you
that.
guys like I feel like playing a trap deck in particular, you can really understand like who gets the game because like you're playing a different pace of Yu-Gi-Oh and the cards are like interacting differently, and some people just like activate traps like absolute idiots, or like unless it's a floodgate that wins the game, they don't know how to like simplify a game state. Like they need.
Yeah, I will. You know, I know
Go
I
ahead.
use the term all the time, but this is one of those decks that's very capital F forgiving. It's like,
It's not. It's really not.
well, it depends on the build, but if you use all of your like points of interaction like an absolute monkey, your opponent can be lulled into being like, oh my god, I think I can win this, and then you flip like dim barrier, and it's like, right, of course, like,
Yeah.
sure.
It's very funny because we have a Labyrinth player among us, or at least we used to. You took this to like more than one event, didn't you, Doug?
Yeah. No, I mean, I like this deck a lot. I think that it firmly makes sense in that category, though. I think that's completely accurate. I think Gage hit the nail on the head. You know, I think a lot of trap decks have this situation where some of the better players might be able to navigate out of tougher situations, but at the end of the day, anyone can open up set 5 going first and just win the game.
You don't think it's one of these, you know, Doug? Why did you play
No,
Labyrinth?
no,
did
I
you
really.
like the artwork?
But see, that's the thing. I think the other one could be in the orange and the yellow. I think this. I don't think those things are like mutually exclusive to each other. Like I think a lot of the Labyrinth players do just like the artwork, and I think a lot of them draw the nuts and win anyway.
Joseph, you want to pick something? You gonna give us hero?
Yeah, I'll do hero.
All right, talk to us about hero players. What's your experience with the average hero enthusiast?
You can put it in. I don't know if this is their fault. You know what? Put it in Grandpa.
I was gonna say
that's what I was
Grandpa too.
thinking.
I wanted to hear your thoughts though. About
Yeah.
But it fits into that one right above it too.
I know, that's what I was thinking, is the nose maybe 2 combos insta-folds to 1 hand trap. The
Yeah.
problem is, that's not their fault. You know, the deck just insta-folds to 1 hand trap.
That's not like a
It's
brain
not-
powered thing.
It's not
yeah.
that bad,
Yeah.
right? It's just Nibiru's like the worst card.
No,
But, like,
Nibiru's
No,
not even bad
it's
anymore.
pretty
The
fragile.
cards it can't beat are Fuelos, Perulia, you know, the good ones.
But this deck doesn't really have a choke point anymore, right? It just has like insane
There's a couple
extenders.
choke points, I would
No,
say.
I wouldn't. It's hard. The choke point like changes based on the hand and shit. But sometimes you open hands that like you're like, if they ash, the hero lives. I do actually just die here.
Have you guys seen?
Negate the. I mean, the Ferris line in general is like a pretty big choke point. Like the
Just stopping parts of that.
whatever the little blue guy they place is, hitting that when they
Increase?
like tribute is like huge. Yeah. That's how I always took care of them. You know what's like the funniest play? You would chain Silk to that, bounce it back to their hand. They had to tribute and it was, you know. Anyway,
But
I'm old.
I like when Ogre's in the main deck and you just Ogre that thing and they're just like, well,
Ogre
I
the
guess
increase.
that's
Yeah.
my turn. I guess
The end
I
of the
guess-
game.
Have you guys ever looked at like a hero deck list with all of like its recent support and just like the mandatory inclusions and just how many URs this thing has in Master Duel?
Oh yeah.
It
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like. Have you seen those pictures of the like the bully breeds in America that are the toadline bully breeds that are bred to be like disgusting, abhorrent abominations of doghood?
Yes.
That's what they look like to me. They look like totally like overbred freaks, these deck lists at this point.
Oh, the deck. I thought you were talking about hero players.
They keep printing you can only summon hero monsters the turn you activate this card on shit, so I guess that's just how it's going to be forever.
Doug, would you like to pick a deck for us?
Yeah, I mean, what does the Speedroid Terratop on here even mean?
Speedroid?
Speedroid
Oh,
players.
just actual
Okay.
Speedroid.
Actual
Okay.
Speedroid. This deck
I
has
think-
gotten so many cards over the years. It is like a
Yep,
fully
yep.
fleshed out strategy.
Have you
now.
been playing this
I-
recently? Is that why this is on here?
No, absolutely not. I will say though, I think Speedroid
I'm asking
players
Farfa.
firmly. I think
I
they
love the
go.
answer
I'm looking
for
at
me.
all these different categories. I really think Speedroid players are in the yellow category of
Yes.
absolute demon or donkey.
Wow, you
I think
hit it
I've
on the
met
head.
a number of Speedroid players that will do shit that no one has heard of. That you know, Yugi himself wouldn't dream of doing. And on the other hand, sometimes, they don't know how to do anything.
Do you have like an example of like what even is a Speedroid play, Doug? Like, can you think of like an end board piece or anything? I'm just curious.
Dude, yeah, I mean, like a couple of years ago, they were doing stuff with like they would like special cast your unicorn because it was a level 7 wind, and then you could like synchro with it and birth it back, and like, oh my god, yeah, those cards were crazy. I heard in this show called Master Saga Roulette, this guy was doing some unhinged shit in Speedroids in the finale.
Yeah,
yeah,
unhinged shit like going 0-2. No, you won, didn't you?
That deck went 2-0. What?
Yeah, you went 2-0 with that. No, I think you're absolutely right. Speedroids have so much interesting support, and new stuff comes out all the time to the point where, like, if you're playing against a Speedroid player, they can just summon a card you've never heard of, and you just got to take it. You got to be like, oh, all right, I guess that's a Speedroid card now. It is funny to be like, a lot of people are like, I can play the Speedroid deck, and they make, like, Kite Drake turn 1, or, like, you go for the Fiendsmith line and set a Paradise and activate it to board wipe them, and they go, oh, I guess I lose. But then sometimes you'll play against someone who's like, yeah, so this game I'm going to manage the Cork Shooter to, like, be specifically like descend off this, and then I want to keep it as a backup line in case you have like a really late Nibiru and you're just like, oh fuck, all right,
Yeah,
I think there's like the people that play these pet decks. Like, I would call this a pet deck probably.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
yeah.
I think the people that really like hone in on the craft of these decks are so terrifying. Like, I think one person I always think about is I wish TCG.
Yeah,
like, give that guy
stupid firewall
and
pile.
And he'll just grind it, and he'll do things that you're like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. But on the opposite end, those pet deck people could be like I just really like this from the anime. My favorite Speedroid guy summoned Terror Top in the anime, and then they don't do anything with it. You're just like, all right, well, I'm glad you're playing cards you like, I guess, buddy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like you're using my exact reasoning here because I agree with everything you said, but that's why I think actually it should be up here, right? Because I think that this deck has
because that implies everyone is a solid duelist.
No, a lot of Speedroid players are fucking ass.
Really? Yes. I think like to play such a niche pet deck, you have to be pretty dedicated and get good to a point where like
that doesn't just say very dedicated. It says solid.
Many
duelist.
players are comfortable going to a locals and going 0-3 every single week. And
I can't believe that. That's so ridiculous.
With like a fully optimized like deck list and archetype. Do you think so?
Because I feel optimized to their standards.
Optimized Speedroid deck list.
Some people like Joseph says, some people really just go to locals every week to get their ass whooped, bro. And I think it's this.
But I think
because not everyone can win every week. Someone has to be losing. But I think for those players, what you guys might not realize is that doesn't that make each win more special if you lose 90% of the time?
I guess. Who cares?
All right, let's move on to I'll pick one. I'm gonna pick Chandra, and I think that this very nicely fits here. Every single time you play against this deck, you think you've interrupted at like the right point, and you've stopped like the normal summon, but then they just enter battle phase, and the one of Sangan Kaiman is just in every hand. Can
I admit something? And maybe this is a little embarrassing. I to this day don't actually know how these Tenpai cards work. It's just like
good for you, honestly.
When I play against them, either I stop them from setting up and I just win the game instantly, or they enter the battle phase and I scoop. I legitimately don't know the nuance with the 4 Tenpai monsters and what order you're supposed to do them. I just know they summon a level 10 that attacks a bunch of times and kills these. So like, I really don't know how these cards work.
Honestly,
I mean, you and every single Tenpai player, I think.
If you click enough shiny buttons,
this is the number one.
Just wins, especially if you just draw the one of summoning, right? Like,
yeah, I could probably like count on one hand like the amount of times that I've seen a Tenpai player actually make like legitimate, thoughtful moves in the battle phase. But like Doug said, like the majority of times it's just summon Pydra, and then all the thinking is taken out because by summon number 4, you've already put 8,000 on the board. You can make any synchro, and it works. But like, I think when it gets like when you're taking down an established board, like imagine the one thing that I always thought is like, how do they beat Chaos Angel? What do you do? And there are ways to do it, but you got to have a couple brain cells firing to figure it out. But the majority of the time, I am just losing to open board, summon Pydra, and
it's all the staples that piss me off about this deck. Like, they'll always draw like the perfect combination of like Raigeki plus Droplet plus like other Breaker plus Kaiman.
I mean, that's their entire deck, right?
I know, yeah, exactly.
And dragons, so they're gonna.
That's why it's such a frustrating deck to play against, because every single card in the deck list is like a bomb, right? It's insane. Doug, pick a deck.
Yeah, you know, I hope you guys have experienced some of these players, so this isn't going to be too controversial. I think Blackwing is in the solid duelist, very dedicated category, and I'll tell you why. Not that Blackwings are a good deck. However, just like with Speedroids, they have a very dedicated fan base, but unlike Speedroids, I'm beefing with this Speedroid community that doesn't, you know,
really hate
exist,
the Speedroid community.
I feel like every single modern Blackwing player I have encountered knows exactly what they're doing at all points and are pulling off some of the craziest combos I have ever seen. I have not seen a bad modern Blackwing player. They all, at least bad in regards to, like, you know, they know how their own cards work. They're not tripping over their wings, but but I think that Blackwings, every Blackwing player I've seen at a tournament, and even if it's like they're 4-4 at a regional, I'll look at the table and it's like they're doing shit that, like, it's not their fault they're 4-4, it's just they're playing Blackwings. So I think Blackwing players are, I think they're good. I think they're all cracked.
I'll disagree with this a little bit. I think that the existence of Kali Yuga means that some Blackwing players are doing the green, the light green, which is they're doing a Kali Yuga line, and then if interrupted, they're like, fuck, I really don't have the ability to move past this. But it's been a while since I've seen a Blackwing player even go for a Kali Yuga board, so.
No, I kind of agree with Doug, though, actually. Like, every time I played a Blackwing deck on Master Duel, I'm, like, terrified because I feel like I hit the right thing with the hand trap, and then you just don't. And then they make triple, what is it,
It's
the
all
Feather
extenders,
Dragon or
man.
something,
Assault
and then you
Wing.
take a billion damage Assault Wing.
Yep.
Like, I agree. And also, I've learned from Edison, since this is like a retro deck too. If I were to consider 2010, I would probably knock it down 2 tiers into the Speedroid tier because it is the most ubiquitous deck, but it is very hard to play it well, and you can tell when
It's like
someone
the
doesn't know
easiest
how to
entry point into Edison format for a lot of players. So I think that even now, like, I
Draw
think there's a lot
Whirlwind.
of people learning Edison for the first time on Blackwing because Blackwing kind of plays like a modern deck, sort of, if you squint. It has a lot of
Definitely
the same
value
tools.
turbos.
Would you call it
Yeah,
forgiving?
I mean, I probably have to agree with Doug. I've ran into my fair share of like really threatening Blackwing duelists. Like I played Alex in Progression Series a couple weeks, bro.
Yeah,
I know
you've
how
been
they get.
colluded a lot.
Yeah.
No, I hate to say, Joseph, I actually don't agree with you. I think I was honestly gonna think of putting him up here. Blackwing duelists are
Hard
so
gamer.
freaking.
Yeah, throw him in. I honestly didn't even see that category. Blackwings go hard. Yeah, put him in hard gamer.
I think it's because the deck has like a literal like 15+ year legacy. These people are so dedicated to Blackwing, right? Like unlike Speedroid or something, for example, it's like newer, quote unquote.
They got Blackwing tattoos. They own a pet crow.
They have like the signer's mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the sign. What? Yeah. Okay. What type of player do you think has the signer's mark more than anyone else? I feel like it probably is Blackwing players.
early.
Or Synchron duelist, maybe.
Who would like to pick
Synchron
one?
duels, yeah.
Gage, I think. Would you like
Sure, I'll pick one. Let's talk about those tier players. Let's do that one.
Okay,
These guys don't know how to give up.
This is a little interesting. Where are we putting Tearlaments?
I'm sticking them
I mean, I
in
can tell you where I'm
solid
putting
duelist, I think. I think if you're still
Really?
making it work, like, you're dedicated to the strat. You figured it out. And
I agree.
I don't know,
think-
because I see myself sometimes as like it's one of the decks I play most recently, just because I like, you know, it's just like a very serotonin
you
dopamine
like the
deck, and
artwork.
I wouldn't call myself
We
a very
know.
solid tier duelist, right? I think people.
I think you give yourself a little bit. You gotta give yourself more credit. I think
Here's the
you're
thing,
a-
though. I think modern today tier players, they're just kind of like people like me who just sort of like missed the bus on like good Tearlament, right? And so they're playing what is essentially a deck that is nothing like how it was before, because it was like a whole other different dimension.
But isn't that the beauty
I'm
of it?
gonna lobby for a different one.
Okay, go on.
I mean, Tearlament in paper doesn't exist anymore. It's almost impossible. Like, I would say it's frustrating because it's a deck that alienates more casual players more than I think any other strategy. And so its only audience would be competitive players who are stubborn. Like, competitive players are like, okay, well, Tearlament's not particularly good, so I'm not going to play it. And casual players are like, that was freaking tier 0. I'm not playing that. I just haven't seen it in forever. The only people I've seen playing it are DK viewers copy-pasting Master Duel meta. I think this was the
This is a
number
good category.
one
I
deck.
do like this one.
Yeah, this was the number one deck where people were making
King of the Swamp.
deck building decisions based off of Master Duel meta. Do you remember when people were like, at release with like 2/2/2/2, they were like, we have to play 3 King of the Swamp. That card's fucking crazy.
And burial goods.
Yeah, we have to play triple burial goods. You can send
good enough to
some
limit.
EA. Yeah, good enough to
Yeah.
limit. Yeah, very
It's like
important that
diameter.
we limited that card.
All right, what do we think? Is Joseph convincing our tier
I mean,
players?
I think the solid duel is very dedicated. You know, dare I say, I think it's difficult to stereotype an entire player base of a deck based on, you know, one of these categories. I'm gonna do this for every single one of these. I think two categories fit this deck, and I think that category and the solid duelist fit this deck.
Doug the centrist. Would you believe it? All right, Gage, you pick this one, so you get final call. Where do you want to put tier players?
I want to put it back in solid duelist. Very dedicated. I think it goes there.
Okay, you say centrist, but it's like, okay, some of these are like, likes wearing green shirts, likes wearing blue pants. And you're like, oh, a centrist picking both. It's like, yeah, man, they got to wear a shirt and pants.
I don't think I've picked one in a bit. Let me take striker players. It's just this one, right? I just like the artwork. Striker players are so like theme based. Like it's all about like the aesthetic.
They got the striker mat. They got the striker sleeves. They got the Ray outfit.
Underpants or whatever. They just love like role playing, like the whole like mech transformation thing. And admittedly, it's kind of cool because every spell is like a different part that's like being equipped and all that kind of stuff. Like it is cool that way. I think it's a fully thematic deck, so that's why I think it's like all about theme for striker players.
I fucked up that like striker is like a mech kind of anime and theming. And we get no mechsploitation stuff out of it. Fucking give me striker warhound crossover shit. Next suite of cards, please.
They're getting some bigger ones. Like what was that card? Their kaiju card
Hamp.
was kind of cool looking. I like
Ham, man.
Ham.
His name's Ham.
Ham.
They were like, yeah, Hamp. You guys are gonna go crazy for Ham.
They've been really going crazy for Ham recently. Master Ham.
They
we
have
got
Master Ham, the
Star
Ham.
Yeah.
The Star Ham.
Someone over there get a gerbil or something?
Yeah. Can I
Yeah,
grab one?
I think
Yeah, go on.
I think you were right about this one. I think this has been like the most realized thematic archetype, and that's why I think people are like really attached to it. So, I agree. I think it's just for the artwork people.
Do you want Joseph?
But I do think there are some very dedicated Sky Striker players too. Like obviously,
Are you gonna say I think that it should fit in two?
Like Doug said,
No, I don't
green
think I'd move
shirt,
it.
blue pants, etc.
I don't think I'd move
green
it,
shirt, blue
but
pants.
I do know there's like some Ryan Hughes of the world, which just take this deck to a whole nother level though. So
yeah.
What do you want, Joseph?
I'll take Pendulum.
Oh, can I guess where you're gonna put this?
Well, it's unfortunate that we don't have a Triff viewer section.
I think you're gonna put this in like the highest tier or the folds to one hand trap tier.
oh, I've actually picked neither of those.
Okay.
I'd put it
It's
in
a
the
tough-
one trick tier.
I was gonna say one trick as well.
Yeah, I
think
am
one
gonna
trick?
try and put it in the one trick tier as well.
Yeah, I think
Well,
the
the
only
problem
people
with,
that play Pendulum are like the only people that like Pendulum are the only people that like play it. Like nobody.
Well, that's the thing is like no one plays this anymore. It's like Branded, except there are no longer any Pendulum players. Not a single person on the planet is dedicated to this strategy. Triff was one of the last, and now he
What
hasn't
about
played it in like
JJ?
a year and a half. JJ's the only guy, and he is like, I don't think I can play this format. Like no one plays this deck. The only
You know
people
what
that play
my
this
favorite
deck
thing is though is every time a new card gets released that like they just did it with the magical musket card
Oh
that
my
just
God, I was just
happens
about
to
to bring
stop
this up.
pendulums.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah,
shit is
awesome.
hilarious.
Every other
cool.
week, there's like a new archetype that just has an anti-scale thing.
It's
Like,
funny as fuck. I think it's
I
great.
think they're doing
Keep
it
doing that.
specifically to bait nerd factor interactions, which
Yep,
is like
yep,
the
yep.
easiest thing ever. You don't have to release a card for that. I like this deck for one reason, and that's at the end of the season when they collect like the top decks from Rated, there always is a guy in Master Duel who is playing like Heavy Metal Foes Electromite Big Fucking Guys Turbo. And I'm always like, oh shit, is this deck really, really good? And the answer is yes, but no one wants to play it. Like the Firewall Dragon deck that I wish is on. It's a fine deck with reasonable ability to put up tops, but no one does it because they just don't play the deck.
Yeah, that or no one wants to deal with like losing the dice roll, right? Because my god, this deck is unplayable going second, but it eats like 19 different board breakers and shit going first.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, right, like you are kind of hitting it too, because going second with a deck that has to set up 2 scales to even be able to play the game is just, yeah, like I don't even know what you would have to do at this point to make pendulums play. I mean, clearly they're actively trying to not make them playable, but you'd have to release scales that are like have a built-in pendulum call effect where they can't be destroyed or something. I don't even know.
Protection, star starter, also like
I'd say it would
outs like a
also have to be a
monster.
starter that places a sharder and like all this stuff. Like, yeah, it would have to be a lot.
And it also, I mean, not for nothing. Of course, you've all heard this already, but it fucking sucks just what this deck does. Like, it'd be cool if it ended on something interesting, but I think that the high-rated
cool,
one
man.
from last season was playing like Valant Performapals, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. What do? They make Griffin. It's like a Griffin lock deck. It's like, oh, awesome.
Dude, we've been summoning Vortex for a decade. Like, what are we doing?
Gage, I think you want to take one.
Sure, let's talk about those Runicks.
Oh, where are you putting Runicks?
I am putting Runicks in...
Let's clarify here. Joshua Schmidt is not part of this Runick discussion.
I mean, I was
Can
gonna
we
say
change
Absolute
DK
Demon or
viewer
Donkey.
to?
Yeah. Just
Can
like
we put it
just
in
swap
Joshua
over.
Schmidt viewer? Like, holy shit.
No,
Who's
I was
playing
wait.
Runick?
I'm sticking
Yeah.
this in Absolute Demon or Donkey. No, I think it's the same thing with Labyrinth. It's like this just plays a different kind of Yugioh, and like I think if you give any bozo like Runick Fountain and they resolve it twice, they're like, okay, yeah, they got it, I guess. But you stop the Runick Fountain, and then a lesser player is just gonna be like, well, I guess I just lose. I
Okay,
guess that's just
let me ask you this. Here's a question, and I don't understand why it's on this list except to bait Josh. What is a Runick deck?
Runick variant.
any
Runick
Runick variant.
Sprite.
Yeah,
Runick-
I know. Why? Just name some.
Runick
Swarm,
Stun,
Runick for
Runick
hire,
Sprite,
Runick Sprite,
for
Runick
hire.
Stun.
Yeah, like Runick
Generator.
Sprite and Runick Stun, I would put in two completely different categories, right?
All right, we're thinking
Okay,
about the
Centrist.
ethical ones here. Stun is it's kind
Runick
of a...
Stun is a plays like complete ass, but Runick like Fur Hire, Runick Sprite, I guess Demon or Donkey makes sense.
Let's see. Back to me, maybe. Let me talk about.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Let me talk about the Swordsoul.
Yeah,
I think
please.
is gonna sound weird because it's not that old, but this is kind of a grandpa deck at this point, right? Like the good old days of Yu-Gi-Oh! When
Word,
mid-range.
grandpa.
was,
So
That's
hold
what's
on.
happening.
Rescue Hamster is a modern card, but Swordsoul is a grandpa deck.
it's moving on, dude, with time. Like this is like it's like a very basic way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! That I think like we're not really gonna see that much anymore because of the way the direction of the game is going with like quick effects being super relevant even on your turn 0. And Swordsoul represents a part of the game which was about as healthy, quote unquote, as the modern game could have been. And that's just not where we are anymore.
No
I don't
one
think we
thinks
can-
that in the moment, though, do they?
yeah.
You
I don't know,
don't
if I had to
realize that
pick
you're
a
living in the
category-
end times until it's over.
Like, I think
This
this
would be
idea
like-
of, like, 1 or 2 starters with, like, 1 or 2 extenders and, like, 3 plays into pass is kind of getting dated now. I really do
Oh,
feel
it's
like it's
definitely
a
dated.
I
back
would
in
say
my
that
day
if
type of guy.
Dracotail wasn't a top deck, right? Like, this is just white Dracotail.
But Swordsoul doesn't play, like, turn 1. That's the thing. Turn 0.
I mean,
Okay, but
this
we
would
can't start
probably
saying
be-
that about every deck. Like, if it doesn't, I get
Give it a couple
what
of
you're
years.
saying, and
Give
I
it a
know the
couple of years.
direction is going there. But like, I think Swordsoul.
You're
I think
a Swordsoul enjoyer.
is...
Where do you want to put it? Because it's not here. Like, there is, like, 1 combo.
I want to put Swordsoul in one trick, cannot play anything else, but I want it to be derogatory, right?
I
Those
actually
all
think this
are
would be the
derogatory.
only one that I put in the decayed viewer copy pasting MDM. Because this is like the one that's like self-serve to every new player. But then you really start to realize like even the new players can't fully grasp the basics of this deck. It's just it's like the game is complicated. But I
It
think
still
this is the only
like
that,
one
like,
of the best starting strategies,
Yep,
right?
it is.
Like it's a high,
Which is why I think it's a
floor, low
grandpa deck.
ceiling deck.
Exactly.
Okay, I could settle with Grandpa.
So where do you think Raron would put this, I guess, since he is a Sword Soul Diamond player?
I just like the artwork.
I can't imagine. I just like the artwork. I can't hear that. Grandpa DK copy paste.
Dare
new
I
player
say
viewer?
it fits in both.
Grandpa's fine. Grandpa's fine.
God, people are gonna be very confused seeing Sword Soul's a grandpa deck. Joseph.
Stun. Easy one for me. Plays like complete ass, draws nuts and wins anyway.
Every time.
Yep.
I think there's like artwork
You know what I
enjoyers.
hate more than anything is smug stun players.
Ooh.
Oh,
Like-
I love when my favorite thing stun players do is give you the YGO Pro replay when they're like, "Oh my god," and then I flipped, and then I did, and I'm like, "Dude, I don't care." Oh my god.
Dude, I opened macro.
I
It
had
was
the
so
judgment for their twin twisters,
just-
and then they had a
man-
second one, and I had a second judgment. Okay, cool.
Good. It's our bro.
Wow, you're
Sign
a
up,
professional
please.
Go Fish player.
I just remember my absolute. I always love sharing the story. Like the one stun guy that always comes to mind is there's a guy that went to my locals when Mystic Mine was around, and he would literally sit down at the table and say, "I don't know, and I don't care what your cards do. Just tell me when you're done." And
It's so
Can't get
fuck
judged.
that shit, man. I hate that.
Have you considered playing a different game? Like, why?
I'm about to say, yeah.
crazy as shit. Dude.
Some
It's
people
like,
just really get off from trolling people, but I think when you're smug about it, it's just like
I wouldn't know what that's
Jesus
like.
Christ, man. Like we get it, okay? We it's like how do you know someone's a stun player? They'll tell you in 5 seconds of meeting them, like that they hate this game and everyone else is a loser for playing combo decks. My deck's way more interactive. I prevent you from playing the game.
It's like casual elitism, right? Like people think like the competitive players are like elitist in Yu-Gi-Oh, but honestly,
Man, do you remember when I coined that? I'm the first person. No,
oh, was that you? Okay, well, there you go.
no, I'm just kidding.
Casual elitist in the sense that they really always seem to have like a superiority complex because they just don't play meta. And they go so far down that pipeline of I hate meta that I'm going to play all these cards that make the deck suffer. And it's like a really weird way to enjoy the game in my opinion. Sometimes it's a
Or
meta
not
call, don't get me
enjoy the
wrong.
game.
Like
It's
Forest
also like
Stun or
it's
something was, like,
totally
relevant.
self-reinforcing because like you play a stun game and you fucking hate it, and both players are like miserable the whole time, and then you leave and you're like, I don't like Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like, yeah, no, duh, you're not playing it.
Okay, quick question. Do you guys
Batman
know what
villain type
Josh's
shit.
second Worlds deck was this year?
Not off the
No.
top of my head, no.
It was Stun. He brought Memento as deck 1 and just pure Necro Valley, Dyna, Clockwork.
Well, that
And
makes
how'd he
sense.
do?
Yeah, a lot of people had
How'd he do?
anti-malice decks and stuff like that. as their
He
second
had a
deck.
higher win rate with it than Memento, technically.
That's crazy.
50%.
That's funny.
All right, Gage, you want Blue Eyes or Penguin?
Let's talk about the Floowandereeze players. Let's talk about them.
Kill them.
I
hate them.
I think it's the absolute demon. Like, I know there's a lot in that category already, but I feel like this is one of those ones where it's just, like, sometimes you play an Emery, right? That really gets
Yeah.
the game at a fundamental level, and then
Right.
other times you're just like,
right. There's some really
oh.
cool flu. When you play against a good flu player, they're doing shit that's really
There is
interesting.
fun stuff they can do, yeah.
Like
but
a
I
lot
mean-
of cool interactions with Stree, or they're just someone that is playing it as a floodgate deck.
Yeah, I feel like it falls into like you guys remember when like Link monsters came out and people were like, oh, you could just play True Draco. They don't use the extra deck anyways. You just ignore it. You don't have to involve any of those
Yeah.
mechanics. I feel like it's like it appears to be easier when you rip off the 15 card extra deck to anybody, but then you realize there are some idiots that just get a grasp of this deck, and then it's like even removing the entire extra deck mechanic, you still just can't understand the deck. I think it really takes like a person with a decent IQ level to actually play this deck correctly.
I think this deck gets so much hate from its initial conceptualization with Stormwind Barrier Statue being searchable and used in
Right.
every single game, Shifter being at 3, and not even just being at 3, it's like it benefits the deck. It doesn't even like act as like a floodgate. Like it actually just helps you play sometimes. So I think it just has a lot of hate from that. And obviously MPen just shuts down Link decks altogether.
But I think that the actual flu cards are really interesting. And this is kind of the thing with like Tenpai too. It's how do you boost a type of play, tribute summoning that isn't common, and you got to really overtune them. But I think that the Floowandereeze playstyle is actually really interesting how they play on the opponent's turn, but they're just doing normal summons, and I don't know, like I think you're right in that it's the Shifter, it's this Barrier Statue, these are the cards, it's the Feather Storm, these are the cards that aren't fun to play against. They're allowed to have an M-Pen as a boss monster, but it's all the other like really stupid cards that, you know, when you think about why you hate Floowandereeze, it's those cards.
if you just ask yourself, how do you make a deck competitive that focuses on normal summons and not the extra deck? Like,
Right.
it will just boil down to like, well, I need to bring every other deck down to my level, rather than I need to do something broken. I feel it. All right, let's take Blue Eyes real quick. It's an awkward one because, you know, historically you would think Blue Eyes is just like, you know, the grandpa deck type of thing, but it's gotten a lot of like, you know, good cards, and it has been a meta deck for the last like 6 months, or at least up until kind of recently. But I do think the average like Blue Eyes player is just kind of copy pasting your average deck list after Googling it or something.
That's where I was gonna put it too. Like I think that Swordsoul was the old barrier for or like the old thing that people would play when they first started out. Blue Eyes is definitely the go-to at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Even now.
Yeah.
Like I think you are exactly right.
The one thing I remember is like, and I'm probably not even smart enough, I haven't played the deck, but when it was like really prominent on Master Ladder recently, just people understanding how to play around their own True Light or under a Nibiru and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like very small, you know, micro interactions, but like they can really separate a bad player from a good one.
No, like Swordsoul, we're talking high floor, low ceiling decks, which definitely have a place in Yu-Gi-Oh! Not everything needs to take a PhD to play.
I can't have any more praise for this deck from a design perspective. I think it's really cool. It's just very funny that we actually ended up without anything in the middle category. Knows a couple combos, insta lose to one hand trap.
I think that
well, hero is
applies to
kind
all
of in
these.
there.
Got all of them.
I think those. Well, I think that category refers to the deck, and I think we're talking about.
Oh,
the
more than the
player.
player, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we just ended up talking more about the player than the deck itself.
No, the intention behind this was always like the player, the average player behind the archetype. You know what I would have put here? The first thing that I think of is Snake Eye. The average Snake Eye player, I think, would be like here.
Oh, I would probably agree with that. Yeah.
Like a Yubel, like just a heavy combo deck, right? Like they know how to put up 9 negates, but as soon as you like imperm at like a smart place, it's like, oh, wasn't in section 7 of A.
They followed the spreadsheet. Yeah.
Thanks everyone for joining me today. Appreciate you. If you like these tier lists, then leave a comment down below with your stereotype about Yu-Gi-Oh community and various archetypes. So we'll see you in the next collab. Bye bye.